The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
I kind of already moved on from the scores from the high school games from Friday. And hey, here's next week. I mean, and you don't really get a chance to celebrate very long. I mean, I'm sure that those coaches that have that won on Friday night or Thursday have already way moved on because you got to prepare and you got to get ready. But really a big win for Monterey in taking down Americus. They were down at one point in time, then they win 50-32. Liberty with no problems with Monahans winning 49-0. Estacado with seemingly little problem with Fort Stockton, even though they trailed early 31-17. Slayton had a big win over Friona 34-21. And then Tahoka win over El Dorado 35-3 among the teams in action from Friday. Those are the Friday scores. So not trying to leave anybody out, just kind of giving you the ones that we hadn't gotten to yet. So there will be plenty of playoff action this week, and we'll discuss those teams and games as we go throughout the week this week. But pretty cool to be able to still have a bunch of teams in high school playoffs.
No doubt.
Friendships.
I mean, if you're a high school football player and you're heading to the second week and you're still alive, you feel like you accomplished something.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Friendship season came to an end in El Paso on Friday night, and ran kind of into a buzzsaw. So that's the that. All right. So I want to get to this. I want to start with the men, and we will get to some of the women too. But do you have any concern for kind of what's gone on so far with the first few games of the Red Raider basketball, or do you feel like, okay, these are fact-finding missions, and it's an opportunity to figure out what's going on with your team, and then you get a chance to work on that a little bit. But that Milwaukee game on Friday night, you could tell after the game Coach McCaslin wasn't happy. They win 80-63, but he was not happy with how they played and how they did things and how physical they were or they weren't.
So
my question is, are you concerned?
Well, no, I'm going to ask you this first. So what was the fact? What were some of the facts that you found out in this fact-finding mission? And then I'll tell you if I'm concerned or not. Okay.
Well, I think maybe they were trying to be too reliant on JT Toppin. He had 7 points in the game. You had 18 from Christian Anderson and 13 from Tyree Bryan and 17 from Donovan Atwell. He only had 36 rebounds in the ball game. He only had 21 defensive rebounds. You turned it over 4 times in like the first minute of the ball game. You finished with only 9. So I think he just didn't like the competitiveness and the physicalness of his team. I think that's. So I don't know if you found anything out, or maybe more of just reluctancy.
Okay, so with all due respect, I asked you what you learned or what facts we found out, and you read the box score, and then you mentioned a quote from Coach McCaslin.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I don't know what I learned.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I learned.
I'm not ready to say that we have found much out yet. Okay. I felt like maybe you didn't have the energy that you probably needed to have. I don't know if this was your classic trap game.
Okay.
Right? Because you played a good opponent on Tuesday. Did we lose on Tuesday?
Yeah, we lost on Tuesday at Illinois.
Yeah, and we all knew that was a big game, and you played in front of a big crowd and all that kind of stuff. And the team's heading out on the road to head to the Bahamas and potential play the number 1 team in the country and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if they were just looking past Milwaukee a little bit. It's kind of a schedule that you've got some really tough teams in there, but then you got some meh teams, right? So Milwaukee probably would have fallen into the meh category.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's a little bit difficult, the little roller coaster ride here to always be up. And it just felt like the team was just didn't have the energy maybe on Friday night. So I'm not ready, Chuck, to say that I'm worried yet. To answer your question, I'm not ready to say that I'm worried yet. I do feel like you still got some things to figure out, and it's early in the season, and that's okay. That's okay. And I know there are tough games on the road and neutral site and all that good stuff up here in front of you. And so, like you said, these are games that you figure things out. I guess after 4 games, I'm not ready to. I'm right there on the edge of being a little bit nervous. Okay, but I'm at this point giving him the benefit of the doubt. That's just a little bit of a roller coaster ride here, and we'll see if sometimes you play a game like that and your coach gets after you a little bit, and suddenly it changes how you handle those situations, and you're way better. So,
I just thought of something I was concerned about after leaving that game because, bear in mind. That was Friday. I mean, that now seems like about 2 weeks ago.
Million different sporting events you've taken in since then.
Yeah. So one of the things, the toughness, the lack of being able to go up against a physical team and dominate them. I mean, or at least match their physicality. I thought you saw that with the Sam Houston game, and I thought you saw that with Milwaukee. The taller, bigger, thicker players you've been reluctant to fight them.
And I thought you saw that a little bit in the Illinois game, where they out-toughed you a little bit at times.
And I think that's the thing that concerned me. It's just like the size of Milwaukee surprised me, and then the size of Sam Houston. And I don't have the score for you because I know you're going to ask me, what was the score? But because Utah played Sam Houston and damn near lost. 85-79 was the final at Utah. So that tells you that maybe Sam Houston's, are they a little better than what we thought? What I thought? Sure.
Where was Utah picked to finish in the Big 12?
I don't know, but I mean, just being
I think it was pretty far down, though.
I understand that, but I mean, I guess it goes back to some of the parity that we're seeing in college sports too. If you find the right 5 to 7 guys, then maybe you've got you can put something together. But I just was surprised that Utah played Sam Houston within 6. I was surprised that you played Milwaukee to within 17. I mean, Jamie, on Friday I said the plus minus was going to be 52, plus 52. I totally dismissed Milwaukee. I was totally wrong on that. But I also didn't think that you would be dominated to some degree. I mean they had
Utah, by the way, was picked to finish 13th.
Okay. Anyway, I just was concerned about the physical play between those.
I think that's fair. I do. I think that's a something to be a little bit worried about. I don't think you're off your rocker on that one. Again, I'm just going to slow down just a little bit, right? And say
tap the brakes,
and say, well, okay, maybe this is something they get figured out here. It's early on in the season. We're 4 games in. But it's definitely something to be noticing at this point.
Also, the fact that you haven't really had your full team yet, too, is probably the thing to take a look at.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Monday, November the 17th, 2025. Time for this day in sports history. Here is Jeff McGuire.
Going to the Wayback Machine, gentlemen. 1900. It was the 5th Iron Bowl. Auburn beats Alabama 53-5 in Montgomery.
The 5th.
The 5th.
Wow. They've been playing that a long time.
They've been playing that game a while, yes. 1956, Syracuse fullback Jim Brown scores an NCAA record 43 points in a game against the Cottage University.
This is football, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Colgate University. Yes, Colgate University.
This is football, right?
That's my assumption when it said Jim Brown and the fullback.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, but 43 points is an awful lot.
Did Jim Brown kick too?
I think so.
I think he played lacrosse as well, but I don't think they counted any of those points.
Okay, the lacrosse points.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I think he kicked too, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And what did you call Colgate?
Cottage. You don't need to discuss that anymore. 1973.
Whoa. Wait a minute. I get roasted for some of this stuff. What did you say?
Well, you see, I was listening when you were talking.
Right.
1973, Larry Isaacs runs for 115 yards and 3 touchdowns. And John Garner scores on an 84-yard run as the number 12 Texas Tech Red Raiders beat Baylor 55-24. 1985, 35th Winston Cup, Darrell Waltrip picks up the victory. In 2007, Graham Harrell runs for a touchdown and has 2 touchdown passes as Texas Tech earns a 24-point win. 24 straight points in a 34-27 upset win over number 4 Oklahoma. And in 2013, Jimmy Johnson wins the NASCAR Sprint Cup for the 6th time.
Boy, we were NASCAR heavy today.
It is Homemade Bread Day.
The Cottage University.
And National Baklava Day.
Baklava. I don't care for that.
Was it the pastry or the nuts that you don't like? Or is it the honey on top?
Yeah, it's...
All that sounds good.
See? Yeah, this is where I'm at.
What
It's a layered pastry with like nuts between them that you then bake and then cover with honey or syrup or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in. Sign me up.
Yes, and in the win over the Cottage University, also known as Colgate, Jim Brown scored 6 touchdowns and kicked 7 extra points.
You were a little eaten up with this Cottage thing.
Well, I mean, only because I get roasted myself for my own.
I'm sensing, Jeff, that Chuck is becoming very sensitive to Bullfighters List. And,
No, I'm not sensitive.
Hey, when you're big and bold and brash and you make a mistake, that seems to stick a little bit longer.
It does. It does. It does seem to stick a little bit longer.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Rachel McAdams, who's 47. Danny DeVito, 81. Martin Scorsese is 83. Lauren Michaels, 81. Jim Boeheim is 81. And Butch Davis is 74. And are you listening, Chuck?
I am.
Are you sure?
Okay.
Because there's going to be at least one person who's be very disappointed if you're not.
Okay.
In the middle of the Watergate scandal that eventually ended the presidency, President Richard Nixon tells a group of newspaper editors gathered at the Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, that he is, quote,
I am not a crook.
And that is this day in sports history. I may or may not have gotten an email making sure that I did that one today so they could hear your Richard Nixon impersonation.
I am not a crook. Sometimes people have to know if their president's a crook, and I am not a crook.
That is this day in sports history. Well,
and he may not have been a, quote, crook, but he certainly was pretty close. 6:49 this morning here on the morning drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Somebody points out the men's team has not had a full practice with everybody healthy. Okay, that's fair. And I just think that at some point in time, though, you got to have other people kind of step up. And I think you've had some of that, and hopefully you'll have some more of that. But it'll be real interesting to see what happens in the Bahamas. I think one of the things that Coach McCaslin said after the game was they better be ready to practice tomorrow. And I think, this probably was tougher workouts are ahead.
Yeah, that speaks to him being frustrated and him wanting to put him through some stuff.
Yeah, probably like back in the day, there have been times when coaches have said, hey, go. You don't need to don't get dressed. Just come back here. We're gonna practice after the game. I don't think they can do that anymore, though. There have been coaches that have done that in the past.
Yeah, probably would be frowned upon
in today's world.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something along those lines. Mm-hmm. A couple of comments on the Lady Raiders. Centex Hank says, "Bueno morning, guys. This Lady Raider team seems to be one that might have a really good season. Lots of ball movement, good defense, and exciting team. Yeah, they're very fun to watch. There's no question about that. Had a good game yesterday to a degree. They beat Arkansas 80-68. Probably didn't shoot quite as well as they wanted to, but even though they made 30 field goals, they were 30 of 65, 8 of 19 from distance. It's just from the free throw line, you were 12 of 20, so would like to clean that up a little bit.
I mean, there's just a huge difference this year. I mean, when Chuck says they're fun to watch, that means there's no more 6-point quarters anymore with this team right now. I'm not saying that won't happen at some point during the season, but that's not who this team is. So much better on offense. I think it really starts with the point guard, Hema Nunez. She gets the ball to players on time, on target. She allows Bailey Maupin to play off the ball, and Bailey can play her normal, natural position of a shooting guard. And she's got 26 and 19 in her last 2 games. I mean, you can see how it's making a big difference for Bailey. And same thing with Jalen Bristow and other players as well. It's just amazing how much better players are when they have a really good point guard. And you've had girls the last couple of years trying to play point guards that are really shooting guards and not a true natural distributor. And Nunez is terrific at that. She's not going to score a ton for you, but she is terrific. She makes everybody else better on that team. And you can see that's why their offense looks so much better. Now, they've got good players to go with them. With her, don't get me wrong, but I think Nunez has been fantastic so far this season.
Yeah, they had 5 in double figures, led by Bailey Maupin. She had 19, 15 from Snetta Collins, and then 12 from Danae Fritz. And Bristow had 11, and Hema Nunez had 10. And then Jayla Malone was right outside it. She had 9. So it certainly has been a lot more fun. 80-68 was the final over Arkansas, and they'll play Mississippi State. And Mississippi State might be their toughest match of the year. And then Sunday they'll play in Albuquerque against New Mexico.
They're going to be their toughest match in non-conference play?
To date.
To date. Okay. So far.
To date.
So far.
Yeah.
Okay.
To date.
Okay.
And somebody says this, I'm going to make some Lady Raider games this year. Okay, great. Yeah, we'd love to have you. There's some seats available, so make sure that you come out. They honored the 93 team yesterday and put them into the Ring of Honor, so that was cool. And what was really cool was, I think Coach Gerlich was, she was obviously part of that team and obviously was a major player on that team, but she was really happy her teammates were being honored because she's been honored, right, with her having her name and her number in the rafters along with Cheryl Swoops and Coach Sharp. But she was pleased that her teammates were being recognized as a team and going into the Ring of Honor, the first team on the basketball side to go into the Ring of Honor.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. We'll have the High School Fan Zone tonight at 6. Coaches from Estacado, Friendship Memorial, and Lubbock Cooper Liberty all on the air for you from 6 until 7:30 tonight. The Cowboys and the Raiders tonight from Las Vegas. That'll be at 6 on Double T 97.3. Any hope for the Cowboys tonight, Jeff?
For like what?
I mean, I totally expect the Cowboys to win this game.
Right.
Yeah.
But what are we hoping for?
Well, just tonight.
What are we looking like? Do we have hope that they're going to play on the field? Yes.
If you're asking if there's hope for a win, I definitely feel like there's all sorts of hope.
Yeah. I think
does the win mean anything? No, it does not.
Well, 3.
They'll have 4.
It's better than losing.
Yeah, it's better than losing. 3.
Is it though?
Plus, it helps the Chiefs if the Raiders lose.
I don't know about that. I mean,
no, it does. They're in the same division.
Yeah, they're in the same.
That's how that works.
It keeps the Chiefs from finishing last. But hey, I mean, they can't.
Well, that's what we got the Giants for.
I mean, they've had riches and riches and riches over. I mean, you're going to have a down year every once in a while. They're 5-5 and they're 0-5 in one-score games are the Chiefs now. Last year they won all their one-score games, and man, Denver they look to be a real player, and we're going to see some different teams in the playoffs this year with, and I realize saying different is wild when you say that about New England, but I mean they haven't been around for a while. So at 9-2, I mean they're leading the East. Buffalo had a nice win yesterday to came with an arm's reach of New England. It's going to be hard for anybody but Denver to win the AFC West. They're up by a couple of games over the Chargers, who got smoked yesterday.
Yeah, that was really weird.
That was really weird. Yeah. And the Indianapolis Colts, they appear to be the real deal at 8-2, right?
Yeah, no, you're talking about the Colts and the Patriots and
the Broncos,
being the best teams in the AFC. So it should be a fun playoffs just because there's new blood in there.
Yeah. Eagles won yesterday over Detroit 8-2, so they have flexed their muscle in the NFC East. What?
They won over Detroit 8-2.
Well, they're 8. And I said they won over Detroit, and they're now 8-2. Is what I meant to say.
they improved to 8-2. Yeah. They won 16-6.
Yeah, so they're now 8.
8-2 would have been a fun score, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the Phillies did over the Tigers, but
right.
Yeah, that Philly offense looks horrible,
and
I mean horrendous. Man, that defense is good.
Yeah,
and I mean the Lions are I think a good football team. I really do. But and I think Jared Goff is a good quarterback. But man, they had him rattled.
Mm-hmm. How about the Bears? The Bears seem to have got it turned around.
That's crazy. I mean, everybody, after last year, just was talking all about how the Bears had made such a terrible decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
With drafting Caleb Williams, and he looks great, and everybody was just Love Fest City with the Commanders and Jaden Daniels and all that kind of stuff. And now 1 year later, Caleb Williams looks like there's a reason he was taken number 1, and the Bears are playing as good as anybody almost in the NFC, and the Commanders are yikes.
I know. Man, it's for a team that went to the NFC Championship game last year, they've fallen off the mark.
Daniels has been hurt a lot, so
sure.
Give him credit for that, or cut him a little slack for that. But yeah, no doubt, it's crazy. I mean, there's a few teams that are still in the mix, like the Eagles, but for the most part, it feels like this thing is flipping over a little bit, and it should be. I guess for a lot of NFL fans, that'll be fun that there's new teams in there.
Yeah, and
when it comes to the playoffs,
the Texans are now 5-5, so I don't know how it's going to finish for them, but they won at Tennessee 16-13.
Welcome.
Yesterday, and then the Commanders, they fell to the Dolphins in Madrid 16-13. That game went to overtime.
Yeah, threw an interception the first play of overtime, and then they kicked a field goal to win it.
Have you? And these are early morning games, and so the last few Sundays, I've been on my way to shoot around and then coming home, just listening to the European games on 100.7 The Score, these early games. Have you listened to that British announcer? I guess he's British. The guy that's the play-by-play
I would
guy.
hope he's British. If he's not, he should stop doing the accent.
Yeah.
No,
It's fascinating. He's a soccer guy doing football, and he's got a British accent, so it's completely different than what you're normally used to.
But he knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff. There's no doubt about it.
Give the dude credit. He's done some research.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, it's weird hearing a British guy talking about tackling in the way we're talking about tackling.
And just
now, does he do all of the European games?
He's done them all.
Yeah, he's done them all. Yeah.
So Spain, Germany, London.
He's been
done
everywhere.
All of them. Yeah,
man.
He has been everywhere, man.
Okay, well,
so
fun.
But
That's a cool little
it
gig.
is a little different, but but I'm starting to get used to him. Carolina Panthers, they won in overtime yesterday over the Falcons. So I think Michael Penix got knocked out of that game, and Aaron Rodgers apparently has a broken wrist on his left hand. I don't know what that's going to mean for him. Is this it? Can they tape it up? Can they tell him, hey, just get a little bit of rest here? So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. A couple things here. This from Racer 26. He reports this: 98th Street between Avenue P and Highway 87, which is Avenue P is just right there at the intersection. Right, it's the next stop sign off of 98th Street off of Highway 87, blocked off due to a fire.
Gosh.
So I don't know what's on fire, but if you use 98th Street to go to Highway 87, You ain't going to be able to do it today, or at least right now.
Good luck to all involved there.
Right.
My guess in that area, grass fire.
What?
Or grass fire.
Yeah.
Something in the field.
Yeah, right.
But that's a guess.
Right.
And that would be why they would block off the road, since it would be leading right up to it.
Yeah. Paul says this: being a lifelong Redskins fan has sustained me in the down years of Tech football. Okay. Well, now that they're down a little bit this year, the Tech football is going to lift you up, because it's never been better. Right? I mean, you have to go back to 2008 to say that it's not been better than what it's been, right?
Yeah, this is better than 2008.
Okay.
Because we know it's going to lead to something better.
Yeah, and now you have a chance to win a Big 12 championship. Just got to knock off the Mountaineers, and then go to Dallas and see what happens there.
Stop by in Arlington, because there's the game there.
Yeah, right. Arlington, yeah, technically Arlington. You're correct on that. You're correct on that. It is a building on the north side of 98th Street. Okay, yeah. That's according to Racer 26, the fire report.
The 98th Street.
Yeah, there's some horses. There's a convenience store right at 98th Street and
87.
And 87, yeah, it's brand new, but could be the where the horses
It's been a while since
are.
I've been out that way.
Yeah.
You used to travel that a lot.
Yeah, and Chuck is right. There's now a convenience store there.
Have I ever told you my story about the Henry Hall Insurance Agency back in the day? When I worked at this radio station, whenever there was a fire and they called the firefighters out, we had a commercial that the news guy was supposed to insert into the station, and it started off with fire, and then the announcer would come on and say, firefighters have been called to Highway 87 and 87th Street. Please avoid that area. And the Henry Hall Insurance Agency reminds you of blah, 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 blah. And that happened to be my account. And every time I heard that police, deal go off, scanner, I'm like, hey, we got to get the commercial on.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen. I think today's question is difficult, but it is very subjective.
Okay.
So there can be no wrong answers.
Okay, that's good.
Although I think if you answer Jacob Rodriguez, I'm questioning you. Okay?
Okay.
If I said Arkansas, is that the wrong answer?
Yeah, that is definitely
Okay.
the wrong answer.
The Lady Raiders played Arkansas yesterday. I did think about that at a couple different times.
Everything comes back to Arkansas.
Yeah, everything comes back to Arkansas.
Arkansas, gotta love it.
My question for you guys today is, who's the biggest unsung hero on this team?
Man.
Bzzz, David Bailey. Because Jacob Rodriguez is getting all the pub. He's getting all of the hype, as he deserves. Bailey has been a monster for you, and he's a footnote. And yes, he's getting some recognition for what he's done, but he's being dwarfed and dominated by our guy Jacob Rodriguez.
Okay, that's an answer.
I think
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. It's solely subjective.
The name after as soon as Jeff said David Bailey, I'm like, yeah, because Coach McGuire talked about the candidacy for Jacob Rodriguez for the Heisman and stuff like that, and then he said I hope people are looking at this. He goes, but we're going to have a lot of All-Americans, and David Bailey deserves to be a unanimous All-American. He said that after the game. Now,
if Jacob Rodriguez wasn't on your team, David Bailey could be Defensive Player of the Year. And we're not talking about it.
I'm about to be all hypocritical
Okay.
here on you. Okay, and all I'm going to say is, I said there were no wrong answers, but I mean, he's on the list of 25 candidates for the Defensive Player of the Year in the country. It seems like he's pretty sung.
Not enough.
Fair enough compared to we as Red Raiders, how much we love Jacob Rodriguez right now compared to how much we talk about David Bailey.
Yes.
Totally fair. Totally fair. But again, top 1 of 25 in the country.
Okay, so does Lee Hunter fall in the same boat as David Bailey?
No.
Okay.
No, not even close.
Okay. In terms of unsung, I mean, because I think you could put Lee Hunter and A.J. Holmes in that same breath, of guys that haven't been talked about enough, or
that's
quote,
kind of the
unsung
position that they play, right?
Yeah, unsung.
Because so much of what they do is it's not about you necessarily always making plays. It's about you clogging up the middle and letting your linebackers and your ends make plays because of what they do. Yeah, no doubt. All right, so pick one on offense too.
Okay, so we talk all the time about Cam Dickey and Jacoby Williams, and somebody asked about Jacoby again on the chat line. Coach McGuire said he rolled his ankle, but would have been still able to come back if it had been a close game. Stone Harrington? I mean, he's been nails. I mean,
he's been terrific.
Those 5 field goals last week saved your bacon. The fact that you didn't need him and you used him a couple of times. I mean, obviously in extra points and stuff like that.
I think saving your bacon probably is not the right. I mean, you were going to win that game either way.
Okay, we still counted for 15 points.
Again, but he didn't save your bacon.
Maybe not save your bacon. Maybe that's a little bit. I'm going to say Stone Harrington or Stone. Stone Harrington is who I'm going to say for the offense. I think
it's a good answer.
Okay.
Technically special teams, but still putting points.
Right. He's putting points on the board.
Yeah. So I'm with that.
I kind of want to say Baron Morton because, and he's the quarterback. He's going to get a lot of accolades, but this is a different offense when he's the quarterback. And it is so vastly different in effectiveness when he's the quarterback and healthy than when it hasn't been this year. If we were to take the quarterback off the board, which I feel like we should because he's the quarterback, maybe this is being a little prisoner of the moment. Reggie Virgil's been very good for you all season long. And we're not just, we're not banging on the drums as much as we probably should for him. So those would be the two that need a little bit more credit.
Okay. My defensive guy, I mean, it's funny. I think I'm agreeing with Jeff in that Jacob Rodriguez overshadows everybody.
Yeah, I think that was a great point.
And so my guy is Ben Roberts. I think he's been really, really good this year.
Who's that?
And he's, just him and John Curry, I think, are really, with Jacob, are a really, really good group of linebackers. Maybe one of the best in the country when you talk about the threesome together. I just think nobody ever talks about Ben. I mean, I think he's been really good. He's second on the team in tackles. But he's with 65. That's 35 behind Jacob Rodriguez. But he's really good. So it feels like you could have picked anybody on the defensive side of the ball just because everybody's being overshadowed by Jacob. I think Bryce Pollock is another guy that I would consider on the defensive side of the ball. I think he's made a lot of great plays for you as far as pass breakups go and all that good stuff. Offensively, for me, he's been quiet of late. He's been banged up of late, but I just think you're so explosive when he's in there and healthy, and it's Terrence Carter Jr. I feel like when he's going well, it just makes your offense so incredibly difficult to defend because he's a really good weapon, used a little bit differently than other guys, and so he would be my guy for the offensive side of the ball. But again, he's been banged up, so he's been a little bit quiet of late.
I'm not sure he even played Saturday. I mean, I don't see any. He was not targeted at all.
Yeah, I don't think he did. No, he did. Yeah, he did.
Did he? Okay.
He had 2 catches.
Okay.
2 catches for 13 yards.
Okay, that wasn't on the short sheet here that I had. Okay. Well, and I agree. I like him as well. A couple things from the Yates Learning Center chat line. Good answer, Jeff. Here in Austin, they mentioned Jacob Rodriguez, but not Bailey. Somebody else, also Romello Height, makes many of those plays possible by setting the edge on the opposite side of Bailey. Jacob Bailey, incredible player. Jacob Rodriguez, incredible player, doesn't have the same year without the front four. Okay.
I completely agree.
Somebody else talks about Baron Morton as well.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T973.com with Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It is great to have you with us today on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T973.com. We come to you from the First United Bank studio, and we've been talking about Texas Tech football all morning long.
Can I take a 30?
Absolutely.
There's a funny story today from New Orleans. Have either one of you seen this? It involves two of my favorite athletes.
No.
Draymond Green and Angel Reese.
No, I have not seen this. Did they get married?
So apparently at the Pelicans game last night, Draymond Green got frustrated and went face-to-face with a Pelicans fan. Now, he didn't push him, and they weren't, punching each other or anything like that. But the fan who was sitting in the front row was giving Green grief because he kept missing shots and getting his own rebounds. Mm-hmm. Okay? Or we-bounds, as we now refer to those. Okay? And so this fan for the Pelicans, who I feel like is kind of creative with his ribbing, was giving Green grief about it, saying so much so that he started calling him Angel Reese. And Draymond said he thought it was funny at first, but then he just wouldn't stop. And then ultimately, so he went over, and again, I don't think Draymond went over there with fists clenched or anything.
Sure.
They went face to face, and officials got there, and it looks like both of them almost have a smile on their face. But Draymond said, he just kept calling me a woman. He kept calling me a woman's name. He went on to say it was a good joke at first, but you can't keep calling me a woman. I got 4 kids, one on the way. You can't keep calling me a woman. I think the story is hilarious because not only does it, point out Draymond Green's flaws, that he's not a great shooter. He's a great basketball player. He's just not a great shooter. But it also, in many ways, is taking shots at Angel Reese too, because you are now known for missing your own shots, or rebounding your own misses, I should say. Rebounding your own misses is what you are known for as a player. So I think that whole story is hilarious.
Well, at least he's following his shot, right?
That's right.
At least he's following his shot. I mean, that's always a pet peeve of mine. Follow your shot. I mean, then there's some people that are good enough to not follow their shot, but because they make their shots, right? Anyway.
Well, there's that.
This from the Yates Learning Center chat line. Hey, Chuck, was that you going off on Poncho on Saturday? Yep, that was me.
Who's Poncho?
Oh,
we had a caller during the Double T 97.3 Coors Light post-game show that was...
he was an idiot.
I am not going to say that.
I said that.
He just had a very ill-informed opinion about the Texas Tech head football coach and taking the foot off the gas when you were up in the fourth quarter. Or in the second half, really.
He wasn't a fan of that. Particularly, I think the last drive. I think he wanted Baron Morton still to...
I think he wanted them to score 150 on UCF.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess, for whatever reason, I just, it flipped my trigger, Jamie. And I just said, Poncho, you're a moron. Because he was a moron. I mean, and look, there's times that I'm a moron. There's times when others are morons, and sometimes you just got to call out the moron when you need to. And
heck, I'm more surprised at times I'm not a moron.
Poncho was an idiot on Saturday. So, and it kind of, I didn't get very much disagreement on that.
I think ponchos can be valuable at times.
Well, if it's raining, yeah. If your wife needs a cover-up, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the poncho because you can't do anything with it's hard to shake hands with a poncho.
Well, that's what you need lefty there for.
Because they're inside the deal, and it's all cumbersome. The poncho is cumbersome.
Okay.
So anyway, that was me. I own that.
Morning drive, ditch. Click.
8:06 this morning. So one of the things that has been, I think, a pet peeve of everybody, including Coach McGuire, has been the offensive line penalties. And he was asked about that after the game on Saturday. And here's Coach McGuire on them correcting those penalties so far.
Man, watch the play, like the one in the end zone. The dude trips over his own player. Like, here's the one thing I said at halftime. We had no pre-snap penalties, none. I'm never going to gripe about aggressive penalties, ever. I'm never going to gripe about, I was upset last week whenever Caleb got the personal foul at the end. But if you watch that whole play, it's one of those deals in football. The ref sees the second guy or the last guy. I'm never going to gripe about, Ponton came straight to me afterwards because, man, I got lazy, Coach. And I said, Ponton, it's okay, man. Like, if we're going to eliminate anything, let's eliminate pre-snap penalties, because anytime you have anything other than that, it's all going to be what crew you have. Like, how they're going to, do they see this as a hold? Do they see this, what I'm saying? And it was interesting what they saw as a hold and what they didn't see as a hold. I mean, I felt like we had 2 possible sacks, or we were definitely going to hit the quarterback, that we didn't get to the quarterback, and it definitely wasn't because we were a free runner to him. But, it's just some of that stuff like that. Man, I'm not really big whenever it's really aggressive penalties, because Howard ended up burying the guy, but it was burying him because the guy tripped over his own teammate, so I'm not going to say. The one thing we've done, we've been better at penalties. Tonight's going to put us a little bit farther back, but we didn't have. I don't think we had any pre-snap penalties on offense. We had a couple on defense, but we didn't have any on offense, and that's what we're preaching. Those are the things that kill you.
Kind of went a long ways there. nine penalties for the Red Raiders on Saturday for 72 yards, and you had a couple offsides on defense, but I don't think you had any pre-snap penalties that set you back.
That was the comment, the whole quote there from Coach McGuire was interesting, because really what you got out of that more than anything was, 9's not great, but at least we didn't have pre-snap. That's really what you got out of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know that I would agree with him that every holding call is just determined by whether or not which officiating crew you have. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's a factor in it, but I would also think you being solid in your fundamentals and being in position and all that has something to do with it as well. And I know Coach McGuire didn't mean it to be exactly that way, but yeah, I mean, you got to do your job. You got to make sure your footwork's good and your hands are in the right place and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But what I got out of it was, 9's not great, but hey, at least we didn't have those annoying pre-snap ones.
The pesky ones.
I think we would all agree.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.